Welcome back, guys, to the Hip Hop Report. I'm your host, Rambo Hustle. If this is your first time here, or if it's not, regardless, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, that shit ain't gray, make sure to turn it gray. Hit the subscribe button. Leave us a comment after the video. Let us know what you thought. Do you think my face looks stupid? Do you think the album, the Zoo album from Russ is dope? Do you think it's boring? Do you think it's cringe-worthy? Whatever it is, make sure you leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. If you think this show sucks, let us know too, because how are we gonna improve it otherwise, motherfucker? Anyways, with that being said, Zoo by Russ, his new album, potentially one of his last albums from what he said on The Breakfast Club. I don't believe that, but I do think that it's worth a listen. I think that Russ, somebody who produces, mixes, masters, and writes his own music, is somebody we are really underplaying because lyrics are too cocky and confident. Have you guys not been listening to hip hop for like the past 30 years? Every rapper that's ever rapped a bar that's not Kid Cudi and Juice WRLD or Drake has been overconfident, cocky, and low-key super misogynistic. So regardless of how you want to lay out Russ's whole image, this is what we've been listening to for years. Only in the past like 3 years have we deemed it insulting or demeaning that somebody's overly confident about being a rapper. The fact is, hip-hop is a competitive sport, and it is a sport that you have to have confidence to excel, because no one's gonna believe in you unless you can sell me on why I should believe in you, which means you have to believe in yourself. Now, again, this is what hip-hop sounds like. The album Zoo, it sounds like hip-hop. It doesn't sound like trap. It doesn't sound like SoundCloud rappers. It doesn't sound like fucking R&B. It sounds like hip-hop. Somewhat open beats with somewhat simplistic drums. And, listen, anybody that splits 100% of their time into producing and making and writing music is obviously not going to be outstanding and amazing at all those three things. Something is going to outshine the other. However, I will tell you that he's headlining festivals, he's selling tons of records, getting tons of streams, and he sold out Red Rocks 2 nights in a row and came out there in M&M sweatsuits like it was nothing. Listen, the guy is extremely talented. Now, another knock, and the biggest knock on him, is how outspoken he's been about the drug culture in hip-hop, which surely you can't disagree with that now. Not after the losses we've taken this year in hip-hop, based on the drug abuse and the substance abuse of the younger generation. Now, of course, Russ is a little bit older, and obviously he's not a part of the same generation, and you can't expect him to, I guess you could expect him to not say anything, but that's the difference between being authentic and having integrity and being inauthentic and having no integrity. He could just take his check, call it a day, and keep it moving. But the fact is, Russ seems like the guy that actually gives a shit about the culture and doesn't want to see all these kids killing themselves off just to sell a record, or just to get more followers, or just to get popularity, and clout. And the fact is that Zoo seems to be quite a bit about his attack at the industry of what they're creating. Now, of course, hip-hop has become big market, big money, billionaires bidding for bucks out here in every label, every city, every state, across the nation, across the world. So no surprise they're gonna try to sell you that bullshit, because people love bullshit. And with that, I say, why haven't you participated in the No Bullshit Challenge? One thing a week, post it, tag us. We will tag you back, we'll post your shit. We want to know what's actually hot, not what you hate. Now, the Project Zoo tends to exude an extreme amount of hate towards the SoundCloud and youth and rappers. It also addresses issues with Russ and his parents, his dad having a big fallout with him declining, and Russ actually climbing up the ladder of success and not being able to communicate with his father, and thus not help him. It also attacks or addresses the idea of him and his mother having issues because of his fallout with his father. But primarily, Zoo pretty much gives you the impression of the hip hop game, the music industry, the music business being a zoo. And for any of you guys that are even remotely involved, even locally trying to climb the ladder, how could you ever disagree? Is it not a fact? Are people not selling their life away, their soul away, just for a couple extra followers, for a couple extra likes, just to be somebody that they think they might want to be in 10, 15, 20 years? Because I tell you what, a lot of these artists create this persona. And then, of course, 20 years later, if that's not really you, depression's going to set in. You're going to feel oppressed by yourself because you are not who you know you are. And you can't be anymore because you've reached this level of success with this other secondary persona, with this image, with this, bar set, whether that's high or low, to be whatever people wanted you to be. Now, Park Stone Drive is one of the key records to me, primarily because it samples, if you know your history of hip-hop, a old Nas record. Also, within the sample, you realize it sounds a lot like that new Juice WRLD record. If you don't know about Juice WRLD, he's a new artist that just broke into the scene about 6-8 months ago with a record called All Girls Are the Same. And then from that, the fans discovered Lucid Dreams, and that ended up being the record that really took off nationally, even worldwide, making him a breakout star, maybe one of the best and brightest new artists of the new generation. They're calling it emo rap. Emo rap and B is what I'd call it. But nonetheless, he samples this record, and I think he could have easily took it off the project once Lucid Dreams blew up and took off the way it did. So I think him leaving that on the project is a very specific, I wouldn't say a shot, but he's trying to make a point. And if you listen to the record, it almost feels like he had to have it on the project because of the content. But still, sonically, I feel like he made it a point to leave that there to show how much the SoundCloud wave and other rappers do not affect him. He's gonna do his own thing regardless of what people say, what people do, or what security is doing. This weekend I'm going to Michigan. I'm doing this festival. Diplo's gonna be there, Russ is gonna be there, and Smoke Perp is gonna be there. So head on a swivel. I'm hoping to catch some action, but I hope they can settle their differences. Maybe we can capture it on film. Who knows? With that being said, guys, listen, the Zoo album, again, this is what hip-hop sounds like. It's, it's kicks, it's drums, it's snares, it's claps, maybe a sample here, a sound there. It is not, catatonic snares coming from another galaxy away. It's not, booty bass all-stars synthesizer leads. That's not what hip-hop was created as. So for those of you saying that Russ is boring or has no content or lacks production or hook credibility, maybe he does, but this is his art. Now, if you don't like it, that's one thing. But to say that it's boring because it doesn't sound like the trap and the underground muddy drums that you're used to is being ignorant to the fact that this is where hip-hop came from. This is the essence of hip-hop. And if you don't like that, your whole perspective is whack. Cheers, guys. Rambo Hustle. Make sure you hit the button. Peace, love, hip-hop. Woo!